Good evening. Welcome to Daddy's Still Broadcasting. Just a little bit of scary music to get us in the mood. Tonight, I'm going to be reading you the entire volume in a dark, dark room. It's not a very long book. We're going to set the tone with some scary music. And if you're going to read scary stories, you definitely have to bring two of your best pals to share the scares with you. So that's why we brought Sir Growls-a-Lot and Glenda Glitterpoop, Angry Unicorn, to help us along the way. And to have some haunted burps, some scary, frightening, terrifying burps, we bought some bubble water with us, some Perrier. There you go. All right, so let's set the tone for some scary music. And I remember well, actually, I found this book when I was a little boy, from about, I guess, pre-pubescent to adolescent, I would read these books all the time, especially the 3 volumes, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. And a little known fact, the author of this book and the other 3, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, is from Princeton, New Jersey. He was born and raised in New Jersey. And this is not the original artwork. I'm going to try to find some of the original artwork here on my beautiful, streamlined, not so scary MacBook. And we're going to try to find that together. So let's turn on some scary music and let's read this book together. Let me dim the lights a little bit. We ran out of candle, and that's why we don't have candle tonight. But I planned on having candle for this live stream. So let's dim the lights a little bit. That's a little bit too dim. We're gonna take it down a notch. Who is here with me? Is that Sweet Mariska or is that someone else? All right. All right. So tonight, Sweet Louisa, great to see you, YouTube sister. All right, so let's turn on some scary music. Let's see here. All right. Louisa, it's great to see you. Hope you're having a beautiful week. We have the lights down low, in a dark, dark room, and other scary stories. This is not the original artwork, but that is okay. So, can you hear me well? Can you hear me well, Sweet Louisa? And I thought, awesome. I thought I would share some haunted burps with you, Louisa. If that doesn't scare you, I don't know what will. Excuse me. All right, so this is the artwork. Okay, so the original artwork I find was a lot scarier. And I think he wrote, I know, right? A home full of teenagers, I can only imagine, Louisa. All right, this S&M spent a long time pondering this image when we looked at it. The music is so scary, it captivates me. Okay, so forward. Last night, is that too loud, that music? Last night on my live stream, on my video that I put, to announce this live stream, I said, why do we like scary stories so much? And why are scary stories so interesting to us? And this is good for young kids who want to read this book. I personally don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe that they exist. I don't believe that they're real. I don't believe that, and I won't get into too much details, but in my humble opinion, all the paranormal activity that people so-called see, either they're making it up or it's demons, and you don't want to play with that. So I don't get involved in that stuff. It's just fun to read scary stories, scary stories. So why do we like scary stories so much? Why do we like to be scared? And feel free to tell me your feelings about scary stories too. I want to share. I want to share and scare this live stream with you. Most of us like scary stories because we like feeling scared. When there's no real danger, feeling scared is fun. The best time for these stories is at night. In front of the fire or in the dark, tell them slowly and quietly, and everyone will have a good time. Boo! Okay. The first one is the teeth. I've never understood why this one was scary, even from the original book, but there you go. I just love scary movies in the dark. Yeah, that's fun, Lisa. Interesting fact that what came out this summer was Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, the movie, which was extremely loosely based on some of the stories in the original version of Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I was hurrying home in the dark when I saw a man walking toward me. Do you know what time it is? I asked. The man lit a match to look at his watch. It's 8 o'clock, he said, and then he grinned at me. Oh, that's not the grin, but we're about to see it. Bring it on, baby. Oh my god! It's so scary I have to turn the page away. His teeth were 3 inches long. When I saw them, I ran. Soon I came to another man. Why are you running? The man asked. I just met a man with teeth this long, I said. It scared me. My teeth are longer than that, said the man, and he grinned at me. I don't have long teeth, so that's probably not scary. When I saw his teeth, I ran. Soon I came to another man. Why are you running? He asked me. I just saw a man with teeth this long, I said. That's nothing, said the man. Did you ever see teeth this long? Oh my god. I said, oh my god, that's scary teeth right there. Oh my god. I took one look and I ran all the way home. This next one, well, that story basically, it's scary to walk at home at night. And it's scary to be in the dark. And I think from another time, before there were streetlights, before streetlights were a common thing, walking at night would be devilishly scary. I think that's where this comes from, and that's where they talk about lighting a match. So I think in the modern context, in my humble opinion, this is not so scary for us. But I think even for a little kid, walking into a dark, like Esanam now, she's at the age where if she walks into a room that's dark, she's scared. So she's becoming aware that there could be potentially some scary things in the dark. But we know. Yeah, it can be scary to walk down a dark street home. Absolutely, especially in the city. I think the people that we can be most scared of is humans, depraved or otherwise. But yeah, I don't believe in ghosts. But so that's a story kind of like, like a child running through the street. I think sometimes I think part of what this story tells us is that sometimes we can be scared of absolutely nothing, and sometimes our impressions, people with things that on their body that are out of the ordinary or that kind of surprise us, like nasty old teeth. And these people clearly had gingivitis, actually periodontal disease, rather than anything else. These people had receding gums and things like that, and that can be scary. And the next story is in the graveyard. Fun fact, for fun, I used to walk around in the graveyards when I was younger. Nothing creepy or anything like that, just because it was a quiet place and it was beautiful to look at the infrastructure. And when we were rebellious teenagers, my best friend from New Jersey, Alicia Boker, and I, and a couple other friends, we actually slept in a graveyard for fun. absolutely nothing paranormal, nothing crazy. We just felt like sleeping in the graveyard, so we did. Excuse me, with no negative motivation whatsoever. So this song is called Bump in the Night. In the graveyard, a woman in a graveyard sat. Oh, very short and pleasingly plump, because I don't want to use the word FAT because that could be considered body shaming. Oh, she saw 3 corpses carried in. Oh, corpses. Very tall and thin. Awesome. Louisa, keep the burp Richter scale going. Scary haunted burps. To the corpses, the woman said, "Will I be like you when I'm dead?" Oh. To the woman, the corpses said, "You will be like us when you are dead." Oh. To the corpses, the woman said, "Ah!" And then she ran away because she thought about what she would look like if, when she was dead. And nobody wants to think about that. We'll switch songs. There's a song that I'm specifically thinking of for this next story. So that story, I think we've all seen, a funeral or, unfortunately, I think we've all seen funerals. We've all seen, coffins and things like that. And, that's something that we, I think everybody is scared of dying to a certain degree. Some people might try to be, too cool for school and act like they don't like, they're not scared of dying. But I think no one wants to die. Unless you have, suicidal thoughts and things like that. And then at that point in time, you should definitely call a friend or a suicide hotline to protect yourself and make sure that you get the help that you need for that. But most people who are so-called normal don't want to die, and they're scared of dying. So, again, these stories kind of help us synthesize that and come to terms with that. And I think that's part of the fun part of being scared. So I think for the next story, for the daddy sniffles, come play with me. This is a story I used a lot when Daddy and Esanam were making the videos, the vlogs about the big toe and in a dark room back in our old apartment. That's a 3 or 4, I think. And by the way, that burp just smelled in my throat and tasted in my throat like one of those nasty jelly beans. Believe it or not. Those nasty Bean Boozled jelly beans. So excuse me for too much information of a too graphic nature. But we're talking about scary stories and scary things. So there you go. This is written by Kevin MacLeod, by the way, who on Incompetech.com, who LA Beast uses a lot of his songs too. So this one is called The Green Ribbon. Once there was a girl named Jenny. She was like all the other girls except for one thing. She always wore a green ribbon around her neck. There was a boy named Alfred in her class. Alfred liked Jenny, and Jenny liked Alfred. One day he asked her, "Why do you wear that ribbon all the time?" "I cannot tell you," said Jenny. But Alfred kept asking, "Why do you wear it? Why do you wear it?" And Jenny would say, "It's not important." Maybe it is important. Jenny and Alfred grew up and fell in love on Valentine's Day like tomorrow. One day they got married. And after their wedding, Alfred said, Now that we are married, you must tell me about... Now that we're married, you must tell me about the green ribbon. You still must wait, Jenny said. I will tell you when the right time comes. Ooh. Years passed, and they grew old. Alfred and Jenny grew old. One day, Jenny became very sick. The doctor told her she was dying. Poor old woman. Jenny called Alfred to her side. Alfred! Alfred said, Alfred, she said, now I can tell you about the green ribbon. Untie it, and you'll see why I could not tell you before. Slowly and carefully, Alfred untied the ribbon, and Jenny's head fell off. I think this version, this image, we'll try to find this image a little bit later when we're done reading this book. I think that image was a little bit scarier too in the other version. Let me know if I'm scaring you at all, Luisa. What kind of teddy bear are you holding right now? All right, this one we need some scary music too. Let's see. I got a lot of scary music from some of our vlogs that I use all the time. So for this, we're gonna use this one. Actually, the music I'm about to use, I also used when we first bought Sir Grauzolat. It's almost been a year since we've had Sir Grauzolat, and thanks to me and Esenam being very careful with him, because I coached Esenam and was very careful with her on, on telling her how to be careful with her so we don't ruin him like we did Angry Unicorn when we first bought him. This is a second Angry Unicorn. This is not the original one. And we got this one, instead of $34, we got him for $15 or $16 at Toys R Us. And it's because he's defective. He doesn't have enough stuffing in him. For some reason, the Feisty Pets people in China at the factory did not put enough stuffing in Sir Grauzolat. So we're getting to the main event of this book. This is the actual story. Let's see. Welcome to Horrorland by Kevin MacLeod from Incompetech.com. This is the story. In a dark, dark wood, there was a dark, dark house. We'll wait for the okay, there you go. So the worst of that song is past. And in a dark, dark house, there was a dark, dark room. And in that dark, dark room, there was a dark, dark chest. And in that dark, dark chest, there was a dark, dark shelf. And on that dark, dark shelf, there was a dark, dark box. I wouldn't open that box. And in that dark, dark box, there was... Hey, Felsi, great to see you. What was there, guys? What do you think there was? Are you ready to see it? Are you sure you're ready to see it? Absolutely positively ready to see it? A ghost! Ah! Ah! So, Felsi, Felsi, it's great to see you. Felsi, you are one of our favorite, like Louisa and Summer Rose and ATJH Travels and others. You are among our favorite fans I would call you brother. I would call you sister, like I call Louisa Lewis sister. It's great to see you, Felsi. So yeah, this is not the original artwork. I don't know if you grew up reading these books like I did, Felsi. But Mariska says hi and sends her love to you. All right. So that was In a Dark, Dark Room. That was the main event. There are a couple more stories, and we're going to keep reading them. All right. So let's see if we can find some other disheveling, scary music here. This I used in a lot of our Halloween vlogs with S&M. This one is called The Night It Rained. A very familiar theme in urban legends and scary stories. Let's turn that down a little bit. Excuse me. It was late at night. I was driving past the cemetery. Did any of you ever hold your breath when you drove past the cemetery, by the way? My cousins and I and my sisters used to play around doing that. It was late at night. I was driving past the cemetery when I saw a boy standing in the rain. Do you want to ride home? I asked. S&M would say, no way, dude! Get out of my way! I don't want to ride home from strangers! Stranger danger! Right, S&M? And the little boy said, but this is a scary story, so it's fiction. Yes, please, he said. I live on Front Street next to the school. So this was just a nice guy that wanted to take a little boy home who was stranded in the rain. Scary haunted burps. I handed him my old sweater. It's cold tonight, I said, and you're wet. You'd better put this on. After that, we didn't talk. When we stopped at his house, I said, keep the sweater. I'll get it tomorrow. This day and age, you'd say, yeah, right. Child stalking pedophile, haunted scary man. I'll get it tomorrow. Awesome, 9 out of 10. We're getting up there on the Burp Richter scale. What's your name? I said. Jim, he said. Thanks for the ride. So here's Jim in the man's sweater as Jim drives off for the night. Oops, did I skip his page? Did I skip a page here? Or no. I stopped for the sweater the next day. A woman came to the door. Is Jim at home? I asked. I've come to pick up my sweater. She looked at me in a strange way. What you talking about, Willis? It must have been another boy, she said. Jim is our son, but he's been dead for almost a year. He's buried in the cemetery. I told her how sorry I was, and I left. I did not know what to think. I know. Some of these stories are sad. This is a more sad one, especially when you have kids. You know, it gets you to thinking about stuff like that. But again, these stories are to help people kind of deal with being scared and to deal with death and not to cope, I would say, but to kind of, you know, just have kind of fun with it in an indirect way. The next morning, I went to the cemetery. I wanted to see Jim's grave. Lying across the grave was my sweater. Insert dun-dun! And the next one is called The Pirate. The Pirate. I love you. I know. Well, when I was young, believe it or not, I used to love these stories. I would read them all the time, and they didn't really make me scared of the dark. Everyone's a little bit scared of the dark, even as an adult sometimes. Nice. All right. Why are you laughing nervously, Louisa? All right, the pirate. Ruth was spending her vacation with her husband. With her cousin, Susan. So Ruth was spending her vacation with her cousin, Susan. A pirate once lived in our house, Susan told Ruth. He died in the room where you are staying. Imagine if your best friend or cousin told you that when you were younger. Might be a little bit scary. His ghost is supposed to haunt that room. I like the pirate flag. Boy, this bubble water is burperific. But we have never seen it. I don't believe in ghosts, said Ruth. But the thought of a pirate haunting her room scared her a little. Before she got into bed that night, Ruth looked everywhere. She looked under the bed and under the rug, even under the rug. Excuse me. In the closet and in the drawers. Behind the dresser and the curtains. Look at what they call a dresser, though. Think about how times have changed. I mean, this is what she's considering the dresser. So that is like a dividing portion of the room. Awesome. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it, buddy. Just like me when I was a little boy. I forget. I don't think I ever knew your son's name. I know Summer Rose's kids are Azura and David, if I recall correctly. But I don't think I've ever known your son's name. But if you're enjoying it, little buddy, all right. So, John, nice to meet you, John. Ghosts are not real, by the way, John. Vincent. Ah! Vincent. Sorry, Summer. Thank you. Summer, great to see you. Sorry about that again. Vincent, Azura, Vincent, Azura, Vincent, Azura. Vincent, Azura. So close. I know. All right. Well, I hope Vincent is enjoying this just as much as Felsey's John is. And anywhere else a ghost might hide, she looked. But she didn't find a thing. Ruth yawned and stretched. I bet nobody else can yawn on cue like I can. Ruth yawned and stretched and got into bed. One fun fact about Asperger's syndrome is that yawns are not contagious. That's amazing. John Vincent, that's how I'm going to remember this. John Vincent is Felsey's son. Vincent is Summer Rose's son. Ruth yawned and stretched and got into bed. She turned off the light and snuggled under the covers. Just as I thought, she said to herself. There's no one in this room but me. And me! Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum. I'm gonna drink in your bed tonight. Little girl, you better believe in pirate ghosts. Get me my rum, me hearties. And then she was pretty scared. Pretty scared. I'd be scared if I heard that. Better not be no pirate that has been inebriated. I don't want to say drunk because there are kids watching this. All right. Okay, so the last story is The Ghost of John. Have you seen the ghost of John? Long white bones and the flesh all gone. Oh, oh. Wouldn't it be chilly with no skin on? Wouldn't it be chilly with no skin on? Wouldn't it be chilly with no skin on? Now sing it like ragtime. I don't where ragtime. I can't on cue. I was in the old kind of scary music-y version of that ragtime. I have to play. Oh, I there's a song. It's not ragtime though. It's an old jazz song. Uh, I will. Yeah, I'm trying to think of how. Give me a second. All right, so I will get back to you on that. I will take a rain check on the ragtime version of this song. So where are these stories from? That is amazing. You just ate a piece of chocolate covered in caramel. Amazing. Not scary, but amazing. And why scary stories in the middle of February, right before Valentine's Day? I don't know. I've been wanting to do this for actually weeks now. And other things have been, catching my attention, and I've been doing other things. But yeah, so where do these stories come from? So The Teeth is based on a story from Suriname, which is Dutch Guiana. There's French Guiana and Dutch Guiana. And you guys, speaking of scary things, you guys might remember French Guiana as being the place where that cult happened, where they all drank Kool-Aid. For kids who are watching, don't ever join a cult. Always be very, very careful with those types of things. And it was collected in the 1920s by Melville and Francis Herskovitz. In the Graveyard is a short version of the traditional song "Old Woman, All Skin and Bone," and that you can read that version, that story in Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, as opposed to In a Dark, Dark Room, which was back at that time for more younger audiences. And let's see here. The Green Ribbon is based on a European folk motif, which a red thread was worn around a person's neck. The thread marks the place where the head was cut off and reattached. So that's pretty gruesome. If I take my tie off, do you guys want me to take my tie off now? I lived in that book, one of my favorite growing up. I know, Summer, it was one of mine too. The first ones I found, and I remember when I was young, I would go to the library in elementary school, Antile Elementary School, in Ewing Township, New Jersey, and I would go and borrow those books from the library, and then I would, there was a tree that I could climb up into and, perch myself in the branches and just read those stories, and that's what I did before sunset, especially in the fall and summer and spring. That's what I would do, and read it in the bedroom, wherever I could. I was reading those stories, and I must have borrowed those books hundreds of times. And then when I was a little bit older, I found this book at my mom's house, my grandmother's house, who, rest her soul, she has passed since then. So yeah, I grew up reading these books, and in my later teenage years, I just kind of left them behind, and there you go. So The Green Ribbon, we read that one. In a Dark, Dark Room is known in England and America. The Night It Rained is based on variants of the widespread folktale, The Ghostly Hitchhiker, which you also have a version of that in Scary Stories. I'm thinking about purchasing all 3 volumes with the original artwork of Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. The Pirate is based on a reference in a dictionary of British folktales in the English language by Catherine M. Briggs, and he cites volume 3, page 416. So if any of you would like to look up the Dictionary of British Folktales in the English language by Catherine M. Briggs, and then the song The Ghost of John was collected by the compiler in 1979 from Lynette M. Lee, age 8, Stockton, California. Wow, an 8-year-old compiled. Yeah, so something you may or may not know is that if I take my tie off, my head will also fall off. So I never get undressed or, no, I'm just kidding. So there you go. So Alvin Schwartz, like I was saying, Princeton, New Jersey. And what I want to do now is try to find the original artwork, because the original artwork is absolutely amazing. So in a dark, dark room, original drawings. Let's see if I can find that. Some of those original drawings. Like, I'll show you from Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I'll show you some of those images. These are the original, very dark. Let's see if we can increase the luminosity here. Original, very dark images. These are some of the newer images from the newer versions. Harold, who appears in the movie that came out last summer. And just look at that original artwork. Just absolutely amazing. If you like scary stories and things like that, and here's the movie actually that came out in the summer. If you can just see, let's see, I think I can make this bigger. You can just see the resemblance with the original artwork with Harold. Very, very similar. And this is stuff that I read in elementary school. And these are the 3 volumes of the original book with the original artwork there. If you can see here close up. Just if you were into scary stories like I was, amazing. Louisa Lewis said she loved it. And just like this one here, this one definitely scary. So I will get these books. I'll buy them back for like $20. You can buy all 3 on Amazon.ca, and I'll try to read them to you. But that's the original artwork from the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I'm trying to find. I found one on Amazon in a dark, dark room here. Let's see if I can. Because okay, this is the original cover. So this is the cover of this version. The original cover is really cool. And Summer, this is gonna put you back on memory lane right there. So that's the original cover, which is just a little bit more scarier. And I don't like that they changed the images at all. And it's by Dirk Zimmer. And the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark book was illustrated by Stefan Gamel. But yeah, so that is, and look, you can kind of see similarities with the guy with the teeth. But yeah, so we won't be able to see everything, but this is pretty similar actually if we just make that comparison. I wasn't expecting to do kind of a literary comparison. Actually, no, not similar at all. Like this guy, let me see if I can, this guy looks more English, looks more kind of old-timey. This looks like it could have been modern, like a little kid walking down the street in the 80s. This definitely looks more modernized, and this kind of looks like more old-fashioned images that they used. But look, he's almost got sneakers on. Definitely, that could have been a little boy in the 80s or 90s walking down the street. And then, the teeth when he lights a match. And that could have been, this guy here, he could smoke cigarettes, and that's why he has matches in his pocket, not to light a candle or anything. Nobody smoke. Any kids watching, please don't smoke cigarettes. And actually, we're getting pretty far into this book, a lot farther than I thought. And see, like this is more modern. Like nobody wore caps like that back in the 1800s. Where I think that story. Yeah, I want to see if I can find. I just want to see for you guys if I can find the ghost, the original ghost, because that was pretty scary. I remember that. Yeah, and people have actually like they've made articles on the internet about you know the 18 most egregious art replacements from Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. All right, well, Vince, have great cuddles with your mommy. Summer, have a great night. Happy Valentine's Day. Wish you and your husband nothing but the best for Valentine's Day. Show each other you love each other all year long and not just on one day. But enjoy any Valentine's Day festivities, activities, or crafts that you might be doing. So, Vince, much friendly love right out to you and to your mommy and to your daddy and to your sister Azura. And happy Valentine's Day. All right. So I'm going to try to find the scary storybooks. Dirk. All right. I want to find that ghost if I can. Okay, there we go. So this ghost, we're going to make that comparison here. All right, so this is the ghost in the original book. There's just something, and then this is a drawing in the original book too. And I love those original drawings, but then you compare it to this. Let's see. Then you compare it to this here. I find the original one, I actually find this a little bit more scary, to be honest. This one here, potentially, I mean, you got a real skull. It's not just some fake goblin creature, but there's just something that resonates with the original artwork that you grew up watching. There's something about that. All right, so there you go. Scary stories to tell, I mean, in a dark, dark room. Let me know if you guys want to see me read scary stories to tell in the dark. And let me know tell me if you cuddled with any stuffed animals like I did, because I needed some friendly reassurance there at certain moments. And if I ever decide to take my tie off, I'll show you one day and you'll see my head really does pop off. Just kidding. All right, guys, happy Valentine's Day. I know that was a darker Valentine's Day video. It was not done on purpose. I think we're gonna end it here. Got to get ready to go to bed and go to work tomorrow. Nobody really gets off that's all right, sweet Louisa. If you didn't need to cuddle because they weren't scary, then that's even better. I love you, Louisa. Come cuddle with my kids. All right, that being said, much love and respect out to you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Louisa, I can't thank you enough for taking the time to comment on all our videos and watch pretty much all our videos. If you're enjoying our content, that means the world to me and to us. And I know it means the world to SNM and Mariska too. Nice. Well, enjoy that adult drink, that adult beverage. And happy Valentine's Day. Be safe. Take care of yourselves. Louisa, nothing wrong with spending Valentine's Day with your kids. Nothing wrong with not having someone of the opposite sex or someone of, or maybe you do have someone to spend time Valentine's Day with, and there's some special news. I don't know, but whatever you guys do tomorrow, if you celebrate or not, happy Valentine's Day. Much love and respect. Daddy-daughter broadcasting. Daddy's still broadcasting. Signing off for now. Ciao for now, guys. Take care.